Welcome to Slow Voice English. Learn English with simple stories and real-life conversations. You sit at a small table. The light is soft. You hear music in the cafe. You feel the smell of fresh bread. Your hands are warm around a cup. You look at the menu. You want to speak English. You take a slow breath. You can do this. You are here to order food. You are here to learn. You are here to grow. This moment is small, but it is big. It is not only about food. It is about you. It is about your courage. It is about using your voice. You look at the words on the menu. Some words are easy. Some words are new. You read slowly. You repeat them in your mind. You imagine saying them. You imagine the sound of your voice. A person comes to your table. They smile. They say, "Hello. How are you today?" You smile back. You say, "I am fine, thank you." You are polite. You are calm. The person says, "What can I get you?" You feel your heart beat faster. You know this is the time. You open your mouth. You say, "Can I have a coffee, please?" You hear your own voice. It is clear. It is strong enough. The person nods. They write it down. You are not finished. You want something to eat. You remember the word. You say, "And a croissant, please." The person smiles again. Sure, they say, "This is a small success." But you know it is more than that. You spoke, you asked. You used English in real life. You wait for your order. You hear other people talk. You listen to their words. Some you understand. Some you do not. It is okay. You keep listening. You let the sound of English fill you. Your coffee comes. Your croissant comes. You say, "Thank you." The person says, "You're welcome." You take a sip. You take a bite. The taste is good, but the better taste is success. You know something now. You know that action is the key. You cannot wait to be perfect. You must speak now. You must try now. You must use the words you have. Every time you speak, you grow. Every time you ask, you learn. Every time you listen, you get stronger. You remember this for life. Not just in the cafe, but in all places. At the shop, at the station, at work, at school, at the park. You can speak, you can ask, you can answer. Belief is like coffee. It wakes you, it warms you, it makes you ready to move. When you believe you can speak, you will speak. When you believe you can learn, you will learn. You finish your coffee, you finish your croissant. You stand up, you walk to the counter. You say, "Can I pay, please?" You give the money. You hear the price, you understand. You say thank you. Have a nice day. They say you too. You walk out of the cafe. The air feels fresh. Your steps feel light. You did it. You spoke English. You used your voice. You made a small win. This is how you grow. One small step each day. One small act of courage. One small try in real life. You do not need to speak fast. You do not need big words. You need clear words. You need the words you know. You can add more later. You can learn more each day. Clarity is your friend. Say each word slowly. Say each word clearly. Let people hear you. Let people understand you. Vision is also your friend. See yourself speaking well. See yourself asking for food with no fear. See yourself ordering for a friend. See yourself helping someone else order. Purpose is the reason you try. You want to live in English. You want to connect with people. You want to work. You want to study. You want to travel. You want to make friends. Discipline is the habit you keep. You practice each day. You speak a little each day. You listen a little each day. You do not stop. Action is the bridge. It takes you from dream to real. You must walk on it. You must order the food. You must ask the question. You must answer the greeting. Gratitude is the light. Be thankful for this cafe. Be thankful for this moment. Be thankful for your voice. Be thankful for the chance to learn. Adaptability is your strength. If they do not understand you, try again. Say it slowly. Say it another way. Point to the menu if you need. You will still get what you want. Resilience is your shield. If you make a mistake, keep going. If you forget a word, keep going. If you feel shy, keep going. Learning is your road. It has no end. Every day you walk on it. Every day you see more. Every day you know more. You remember this cafe. You remember the smell, the sound, the smile. You remember your voice. You remember that you can speak. Today, you can do it again. It can be another cafe. It can be a shop. It can be a bus driver. It can be a new friend. It can be anyone. Do it once more. Do it slowly. Do it clearly. Do it with belief. You stand up. You breathe. You begin again. You walk down the street. You see another cafe. You see people inside. Some talk quietly. Some laugh. Some look at their phones. You hear the sound of cups. You hear the sound of chairs. You open the door. The air smells like coffee again. It feels warm inside. You take a seat. You touch the menu. It feels smooth under your hand. You read the words. You see tea. You see bread. You see soup. You see cake. You read slowly. You say the words in your mind. A person comes to you. They smile. They say, "Hi, what would you like?" Your voice is ready. You say, "Can I have green tea, please?" You say it slowly. You say it clearly. The person smiles. "Yes," they say. You think of more. You say, "And a piece of cake, please." They write it down. They say, "Sure." You feel calm now. You feel stronger than before. You remember the first cafe. You remember the first order. Now it feels easier. Now your heart is not fast. This is growth. This is change. This is how you win. You try once. You try again. You make each time better. You wait for your tea. You hear a child laugh. You hear a chair move. You hear a spoon in a cup. You listen to voices. Some words are clear. Some are not. You still listen. Your tea comes. Your cake comes. You say, "Thank you." The person says, "Enjoy." You smile. You take a sip. The tea is warm. The cake is sweet. You feel a quiet joy. Not only because of the taste, because you did it again. Because you spoke again. Because you used your words. You look outside. You see people walking. Some look tired. Some look happy. You think they also have small steps to take. You remember belief. It is like the tea. It warms you inside. It helps you act. It makes you ready. You remember clarity. It is like the clear water in the tea. It lets others see your meaning. You remember vision. It is like looking out the window. You see yourself tomorrow. You see yourself next week. You see yourself next year. You see yourself speaking well. You remember purpose. It is why you walk into the cafe. It is why you open your mouth. It is why you say the words. You remember discipline. It is why you practice. It is why you keep going. It is why you do not stop. You remember action. It is the moment you speak. It is the moment you ask. It is the moment you order. You remember gratitude. It is the smile after the order. It is the thank you. It is the warm tea in your hands. You remember adaptability. It is when you change the words. It is when you try again. It is when you point to the menu. You remember resilience. It is when you make a mistake. It is when you feel shy. It is when you still speak. You remember learning. It is every sound you hear. It is every word you say. It is every moment you try. You finish your tea. You finish your cake. You go to the counter. You say, "Can I pay?" Please, you hear the price. You understand it. You give the money. You get your change. You say, "Thank you. Goodbye." They say goodbye. "Have a nice day." You walk out. The air feels cool now. You smile. You know you will do this again. You walk further down the street. You see another cafe. You do not go in. You just look at it. You know you can go in any day. You know you can order. You know you can speak. This is how change happens. This is how growth feels. It is small, it is slow, but it is real. You remember this one small action today, one small action tomorrow, one small action each day after. You believe, you speak, you listen, you grow, you walk home. The day feels bright. Your heart feels light. You are ready for the next step. You are ready for the next word. You are ready for the next cafe. You know the truth now. Success is not one big jump. It is many small steps. It is many small tries. It is many small wins. You open your door. You go inside. You sit down. You breathe. You feel calm. You feel strong. You feel ready for tomorrow. You close your eyes. You see yourself speaking again. You see yourself smiling again. You see yourself learning again. Tomorrow will come. And when it comes, you will stand up. You will breathe. You will begin again. The next morning is quiet. The sun comes through your window. You open your eyes. You feel the new day begin. You remember yesterday. You remember the cafe. You remember your voice. It makes you smile. You get up slowly. You wash your face. You make your bed. You look outside. The street is calm. You hear a bird sing. You hear a car pass. You think about today. You want to speak English again. You want to practice again. You want another small win. You leave your home. The air is fresh. You walk down the street. You see people opening shops. You see buses go by. You see a mother with a child. You walk until you see a cafe. It is new to you. The door is open. You smell fresh bread. You hear soft music. You step inside. The floor is clean. The light is warm. You see tables. You see chairs. You see a big menu on the wall. You read the menu. You see coffee. You see tea. You see sandwich. You see salad. You see soup. You stand in line. You hear the person in front of you. They say, "Can I have a latte, please?" You hear the worker say, "Anything else?" The person says, "No, that's all, thank you." You listen to the sound of each word. You listen to how they ask. Now it is your turn. The worker looks at you. They smile. They say, "Hello. What can I get for you?" You take a breath. You say, "Can I have a tea, please?" Your voice is slow. Your voice is clear. The worker says, "Sure. What kind of tea?" You think for a second. You say, "Green tea, please." The worker writes it down. You add more. You say, "And a sandwich, please." The worker says, "Which sandwich?" You look at the menu. You see cheese sandwich. You see chicken sandwich. You say, "Cheese sandwich, please." The worker smiles. "Okay. Anything else?" you say. "No, thank you." They tell you the price. You give the money. You get the change. You say, "Thank you." They say, "You're welcome." You wait at a table. You hear the sound of the coffee machine. You hear a chair move. You hear soft talking at another table. Your tea comes. Your sandwich comes. You smile. You say, "Thank you." You take a sip of tea. It is warm. You take a bite of the sandwich. It is fresh. You feel happy. You feel proud. This is your practice. This is your progress. You remember the first time you ordered. You were nervous. Your voice was soft. Now you feel calm. Your voice is steady. You know this is how learning works. Small steps, small actions. Every day, you look around. You see a worker cleaning a table. You see a man reading a newspaper. You see a woman typing on a laptop. You hear short words. Here you go. Thank you. You're welcome. Enjoy your drink. These are small words, but they are useful. You can use them too. You finish your tea. You finish your sandwich. You stand up. You walk to the counter. You say, "Thank you." Goodbye. The worker says goodbye. Have a good day. You walk outside. The air feels cool. The street feels alive. You smile again. You know this now. Speaking is not only for school. Speaking is for life. Speaking is for today. You can order food. You can greet a person. You can ask for help. You can answer a question. You can do it in English. You can do it anywhere. You can do it every day. Every cafe is a lesson. Every shop is a lesson. Every street is a lesson. Every hello is a lesson. You walk further. You see a bakery. You smell bread. You see cakes in the window. You go inside. You see a woman behind the counter. She smiles. She says, "Hi, how are you?" You say, "I'm fine, thank you." "How are you?" She says, "I'm good, thank you." She waits. You say, "Can I have one bread, please?" She says, "Which bread?" You point to one. You say, "That one, please." She gives it to you. She tells you the price. You pay. You say, "Thank you." She says, "Have a nice day." You walk out with bread in your hand. You feel the warm bag. You smell the fresh bread. You feel proud again. You think this is learning. You think this is living. You think I can do more. You take a deep breath. You keep walking. You know the day is still young. You know you will speak again. You know you will try again. You are not afraid now. You are ready for the next person. You are ready for the next question. You are ready for the next cafe. And when you see it, you will walk in. You will smile. You will speak. You will order. You will grow. Because this is your journey. Because this is your life. Because you stand up. You breathe. You begin again. The afternoon sun is soft. It touches the buildings. It makes the windows shine. You walk slowly along the street. You pass small shops. You pass people talking. You pass a street musician playing guitar. You stop for a moment. You listen. The sound is gentle. It makes you feel calm. You think about your English. You think about the words you used today. They were simple. They were clear. They worked. You see another cafe. It is small. It has 2 tables outside. You look through the glass. You see a worker behind the counter. They are not busy. This is a good time to practice again. You open the door. The smell of coffee is strong. You hear soft music. You walk to the counter. The worker smiles. They say, "Hi there. What can I get you?" You say, "Can I have an espresso, please?" The worker says, "Sure, small or large." You say, "Small, please." The worker nods. They ask, "Would you like anything to eat?" You think for a moment. You look at the display. You see muffins. You see cookies. You see sandwiches. You point to a muffin. You say, "1 muffin, please." The worker says, "Okay, that will be $6. You take the money from your pocket. You pay. You get the change. You say, "Thank you." They say, "You're welcome." You sit at a small table. The light from the window falls on your hands. You feel warm. You listen to the sound of the coffee machine. You hear the steam. You hear the milk being poured. The worker brings your espresso and muffin. They say, "Here you go." You smile. You say, "Thank you." You take a sip of the espresso. It is strong. It wakes you up. You take a bite of the muffin. It is soft and sweet. You look out the window. You see cars passing. You see people crossing the street. You think about the morning. You think about the first cafe. You think about the bakery. You think about now. You understand something. You are not only drinking coffee. You are building courage. You are building skill. You are building your future. Your English is not perfect yet, but you do not wait for perfect. You speak now. You learn now. You grow now. You remember Napoleon Hill's idea. Action comes before success. You take action now, even if it is small, even if it is simple. Because small steps lead to big steps, and big steps lead to change. You finish your espresso. You finish your muffin. You put on your coat. You walk to the counter again. You say goodbye. Thank you. The worker says, "Bye. Have a good day." You walk outside. The air feels cooler now. The wind touches your face. You breathe in deeply. You feel alive. You keep walking. You see a bus stop. A woman is there with a cup of coffee. She looks at you and smiles. You smile back. She says, "Nice day, isn't it?" You answer, "Yes, it is." This is another small win. You spoke again. You connected. It was short, but it mattered. You see the bus coming. You are not taking it. But you watch it stop. You watch people get on. You hear them greet the driver. You hear, "Good morning." You hear, "Thank you." You hear, "Have a good day." These words are everywhere. You can use them anywhere. You can practice them every day. You walk past the bus stop. You turn down a small street. There is a tiny coffee stand. A man works alone inside. He waves to you. He says, "Hello." You wave back. You say, "Hello." You walk up to the stand. You say, "Can I have a cappuccino, please?" The man says, "Sure. Do you want sugar?" You say, "No, thank you." While he makes the coffee, you ask, "How is your day?" He smiles. He says, "It's good. How about yours?" You say, "It's good." "Thank you." He gives you the cappuccino. You give him the money. You say, "Thank you." He says, "You're welcome." See you again. You walk away with the cup. It is warm in your hands. The smell is rich. You take a sip. It feels like energy. It feels like progress. Every time you speak, you get stronger. Every time you order, you get better. Every time you try, you win. You do not need to know every word. You only need to use the words you have. The rest will come. The rest will grow with time. You walk home as the light changes. The day is ending. The sky turns orange. You feel peace. You know tomorrow will be another chance. Another cafe. Another greeting. Another order. Another step forward. And when it comes, you will stand up. You will breathe. You will begin again. The sky grows darker. Shadows stretch across the street. The air feels cooler. You walk past glowing shop windows. You see people inside. Some eat dinner. Some drink coffee. Some talk with friends. You pass a small cafe with yellow light. It looks warm. It looks peaceful. You stop. You think one more time today. You open the door. The bell rings softly. The smell of fresh bread meets you. You see only 2 other customers. A man reads a book. A woman looks at her phone. You walk to the counter. The worker says, "Good evening. What can I get for you?" You smile. You say, "Good evening. Can I have a hot chocolate, please?" The worker nods. They say, "Of course." "Anything to eat?" You look at the display. You see cake. You see cookies. You say, "1 cookie, please." The worker says, "Sure, that will be $5. You give the money. You get your change. You say, "Thank you." They say, "You're welcome." You choose a small table by the window. You watch the street outside. The lights from cars move past. You hear soft music. You hear the sound of a spoon in a cup. The worker brings your hot chocolate and cookie. They say, "Here you go." You say, "Thank you." You take a sip. It is sweet and warm. You take a bite of the cookie. It is soft. You feel safe here. You feel calm. You think about your day. This morning you were in one cafe, then another, then the bakery, then the coffee stand. Now here. Each time you spoke, each time you learned, each time you grew, you understand something new. Confidence is not a gift. It is a muscle. You build it by using it. You use it every time you speak. You finish your drink. You finish your cookie. You put on your coat. You walk to the counter. You say, "Thank you, goodbye." The worker says, "Goodbye. Have a good night." You step outside. The air is cold now. The street is quiet. You walk home slowly. The lights in the windows shine. You open your door. You take off your coat. You sit down. You feel tired but happy. You think about tomorrow. You know you will practice again. You know you will speak again. You know it will get easier. You go to bed. The night is quiet. You close your eyes. You sleep. Morning comes again. Light fills the room. You wake up. You stretch. You breathe deeply. You smile. Today is another day. Today is another chance. You dress, you eat breakfast, you step outside. The street is busy now. People walk fast. Cars pass by. Buses stop and go. You walk to a cafe you have never visited. It has a blue sign. You open the door. It smells like fresh coffee. It feels warm inside. A worker says, "Hello. What can I get for you?" You say hello. "Can I have a latte, please?" They ask small or large. You say large, please. They ask, "Would you like something to eat?" You say, "Yes." "One sandwich, please." They ask, "Which sandwich?" You read the menu. You say, "Chicken sandwich, please." They smile. They tell you the price. You pay. You say, "Thank you." They say, "You're welcome." You sit at a table. You watch other people order. You listen to their words. You hear, "Can I have?" many times. You hear please and thank you. Your latte comes. Your sandwich comes. You say thank you. You drink. You eat. You enjoy. You remember that learning English is not only in books. It is here. It is in every cafe. It is in every shop. It is in every hello. You finish your food. You put on your coat. You walk outside. The sun is high now. You know something important. You are not waiting for a perfect moment. You are making the moment now. You are taking small steps now. Every day is a chance. Every order is a lesson. Every smile is progress. You walk down the street. You see another cafe. You smile. You know you can go in. You know you can speak. You know you can grow. You stand tall. You breathe. You begin again.